Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I thought I'd do a video today about not like an epiphany. It wasn't an epiphany. Don't know if epiphany is the word now. I think that's a thing that happens in January after Christmas. I'm not sure, but anyway, I had an epiphany, I think. I had a moment where I was like, it wasn't like one moment, but it was like over a week, I think, where I found just this recovery motivation, and maybe what you could call as an aha moment or a light bulb moment. I had one of that, that was probably my biggest one of them. So I feel like I'm going to explain what that moment was. I feel like it's quite obvious, but I don't know if that's just to me now, but before it never really seemed real, but it may be obvious. You may hear me. You may just want to hear me out and see what I've got to say, but I feel like there was a moment or just a fact and whatever that really made my recovery shoot and really start going. And there's been the biggest, I've made more progress in 6 months, maybe even less, than I have in 3 years. So I think that just shows how little things can have a big impact. It's just a bit of perspective. Anyway, before I'm beating around the bush a bit, so it was a moment and I realised this is going to sound so deep, I know it is. So I had this moment and I was like, this is my life. I only have one of them. As long as I don't hurt other people and cause harm to other people, then I can do what I want. There's no real consequences for eternity, as far as I'm aware. I've got to live it to the fullest. I've only got 80 years, 90 years. I really need to live it to the fullest, and I'm really not at the moment. I've been, I was thinking I've been unhappy for 2 years, and I'm just not living the life I actually want to live. And it sounds all hippy dippy, I know, woo, but it's true. You do only live once. Hashtag YOLO. You do only live once. And if I don't go for that, I'd have lived in that misery and that unsettledness and rigidity. Yes, I could cope. I could go out and see people, but I was living in a rigid. I wasn't really happy. I wasn't enjoying socialising. I didn't want to socialise. I wasn't myself. My life revolved around food. I could never go out to eat unless I looked at the menu and found something I wanted. And there's so many restrictions on life, and I had to go and do exercise. And there were so many things that were making this life rigid and forming into something I didn't want it to be, when it really can be what you want it to be as long as you're not causing harm to anyone else. And I think I just had a moment and I sort of realised that. I was like, what am I doing with my life? And the biggest thing is that you can be fully recovered, you can, and this eating disorder and these feelings of rigidity and all of that can completely go. And I feel like I'm telling someone that the sky's blue. Wow! But it feels obvious when I'm saying it, but it's true. And I just thought, what on earth am I doing? What on earth am I doing with my life? I don't want to live like this for 17 more years. 70, 80 is optimistic. Say 80 more years in this sort of rigidity. It's not like when I'm older it's just going to go. I'm going to have to put in this work at some point if I want to live a full life. I don't want to live like this forever. And if I put in the work now, then it will save me living years of misery and putting the work in at a later point. So if I just always get it over and done with, which you can do, you can put it in the past. You're not always going to have to be very wary of things. Yes, you're going to have to ensure that you don't relapse, but that's just being very conscious. It's not being on top of yourself about what you're doing and what you're eating all the time. There is a life out there in the future for you. You can fantasize about that life, and it can be your life. Don't think that it's something you're never going to achieve, because it really can be if you just put in this bit of work for recovery. And that's what I thought. I'm in this, and every decision I make, you've just got to remember that, okay, this is getting this recovery little phase thing. Recovery phase. This is getting recovery done, so the sooner I finish this, the sooner I'll be absolutely living life to the fullest and going out and going to restaurants with friends and going to the beach and having cocktails on the beach and going to parties and having party food and cake and brilliant things. And it can happen to me. It doesn't have to be bound by rules. Like, realistically, when I go on holiday, when I'm 35, and I'm going to Barbados for a month, because I'm going to be mega rich. No, when I'm older, 35, going on holiday, don't feel like I have to do exercise. If I want to lie on the beach and drink a cocktail there, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to live each day exactly how I want to live it. And that can't be done in an eating disorder. Like, in an eating disorder mind, you can't live that life. And it really does restrict your whole life. And you're only here once, so why not make it a good one? But you can't. The thing is, I'm making it sound like I had like one, is it a eureka? I don't know, that might be something really strange. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say that or not, but I think I had a eureka moment. I'm going to have to look it up before I post this, because I'm going to look like a right idiot if there's no such thing, or it's something like a euphemism or something. It wasn't like I had a moment and was like, oh my god, and I was absolutely fine, and I was intuitive, and I was absolutely just doing whatever I wanted and whatever. But it gave me that motivation to get that recovery bit done, because it has to be done. It can't just be switched off, unfortunately, but it can be done. Like, you can get it done, and the harder you work in recovery, the quicker you can get it done. So the harder you work, the quicker recovery is done, and you can start the real amazing stuff in life. And that's what I'm so excited for. And I just had a moment, I was like, this is possible. This, not even possible, it's going to happen. If I work hard, it's going to happen. And that changed my recovery completely. Just having a perspective on life that wasn't rushing through each day and blah blah blah. It was like, there's so much to it that I've got to live for, and I can. Like, that's the main bit, was the can. Like, I can do this, and you can. Anyone can. Whoever this is right now, you can recover fully. That is possible for you if you put in the effort, and then you can go and live an amazing life, not restricted by eating disorder, habits and rules and all of that. It won't even be, like, you may get told by, like, people, we may hear, like, something you're going to have to, like, work on for the rest of your life, something you're always going to have in the rest of your life. And you look at some people that are fully recovered, and they don't have to manage any thoughts, whatever. They just have to ensure that they don't relapse by just being a bit conscious of things that may trigger them and all of that. But overall, they don't have to be on top of themselves about what they're eating all the time. They are intuitive eaters, and you can be an intuitive eater once we've conquered recovery. And I think that's exciting, and I don't know if you can tell from my excitement. Do you know what, like, it may actually think that I'm, like, faking how excited I am, but whenever I think about the life that I could live after, I do get, like, genuinely really excited, because it sounds great. It just sounds great, it sounds fun. Like, I know it's not going to be perfect, I'm not an idiot, I know that life cannot always be fun, and times can be tough, but overall, the happy days are going to be much happier than they are at the moment, and overall I think the quality of life is definitely going to improve for me. So what have I not got to look forward to? So, after my little buzz of excitement, thank you very much for watching. I was going to say good night, but I guess good night if you're going to sleep. Have a good day if you're not. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. There's plenty of other videos on my channel that may be helpful, so go and check them out. Bye.